We got a game between Tag Ubergeek and Voodoo. Two very good players, UEF on UEF on theta. Saw that a lot of people watch this replay on GPG.net, so I'm gonna watch it too. I haven't seen any of it yet. So Ubergeek starting with one PGen, a couple of mass extractors, land, factory. As expected, you see a big difference here. Two PGens instead of one for Voodoo. So most players know all the different builds for this map, a very popular map. All the mass extractors are very spread out, so you really gotta fight for map control. There's a little mass in the middle, there's really not much mass, a lot of the mass in these rocks. Let's see what happens. See, don't have any. Looks like it's a mech marine, a third unit out of the factory plus a scout. First two are NGs. Fifth is an NG. See, very similar first two NGs, and then two mech marines for Voodoo. So once again the difference, one mech marine versus two for Voodoo. The ACUs are in the middle, already got a hydro. Still working on the hydro for Voodoo. Making some factories, you can see going really low on power. This is 3599, so you don't need the power storage to overcharge. See 2v1, the mech marines win the early fight. We see another group of mech marines for Voodoo going down, but now we see a pretty large group, 3 mech marines and a tank with a scout going up for Ubergeek. No NG has been sent for Ubergeek to the side, at least not yet. Now finally this NG just might die, and we saw Ubergeek be successful against the 2 early mech marine. You can see Voodoo decide not to go up, but now just might run into a large force. This is pretty nice from Ubergeek, going directly to the middle. You see a very big difference here. T2 factory from Voodoo, but he's losing a lot of NGs here, so this is pretty big trouble for Voodoo. On the bottom we see here this threat from Voodoo was neutralized by Ubergeek. He really has large numbers advantage at this point. He does have his first mongoose out. Definitely 900 health, so this is definitely 3599. And that's a very good mech marine, 3 kills. Now we see 2 mongoose. Voodoo is losing all of his mass extractors. He's down to 6 mass extractors, and map control belongs to Tag Ubergeek. Voodoo is probably trying to get some mass. He's going to reclaim some rocks. Both ACUs look like they don't have any upgrades. 6 kills for one of these mongoose. It's interesting. Let's see. It's Ubergeek has gone T2 as well. So without taking any chances, he's just going to go with T2. We see a shield coming out for Voodoo. He doesn't have too much power, but he doesn't have too many factories or any other units building, so he can't support it. Voodoo going down in health about 6k. Remember, the ACU nuke for this game time is the game tap is a little over 4k. And now we see the T2 from Ubergeek. He's got a couple of mongoose and a shield coming in as well. He still has most of the map control. His side he has total control plus 2 mass extractors on the top, and he's got another NG. He's going to try to get even more mass extractors. Some aggressive NGs from Ubergeek. The fight in the middle is basically ACU versus ACU with shields and mongoose for long range. We do see a lot more T1 for Ubergeek. It's really nice. Micro keeping the shield ahead. Now we're seeing 2 shields, and we actually see T2 flak and it looks like it's a response to this T1 bombers. So T1 bombers shouldn't be built anymore. That T2 flak will kill them really fast. See an NG from Voodoo getting that mass from the middle. Voodoo going down in health to less than 4k, so if for whatever reason Ubergeek wanted to draw, he could have it, but probably should see some overcharges on this one. So pretty well fought from Voodoo out of a bad situation. It looks like Ubergeek is going to retreat and try to think of something new. He's got 4 bombers coming in, and they don't even hit their target. Be nice to hit those NGs with those bombers. Now we see a group of 2 mongoose coming out the side. Gonna try to capture some of these mass extractors. See a lot of power for Ubergeek, a lot more than for Voodoo. Voodoo has got some T2 PD directly at his base. If we check reclamation, Ubergeek has 2.2k, Voodoo has 2.3, so very similar. Now we see a shield plus 2 mongoose versus 2 unshielded mongoose. This is really nice stuff from Ubergeek, plus the bomber. And Ubergeek's getting an upgrade, either T2 or the gun. He's getting some NGs to help. This is excellent. And now we see that bomber just got 6 kills. We see a lot of dead NGs. So good things happening for Voodoo. I mean for Ubergeek. Empty mass extractors, looks like nobody wants them. See a little wall from Ubergeek, so he's not going to attack through this channel, even though he has the numbers. We see the difference. Ubergeek can support shields. He's got very even power. And Voodoo could probably support 1 shield. And now we're seeing some mobile missile launchers coming out. This is to counteract these T2 PD. With UEF we might see some cruise missiles, because UEF has some really bad TMD. This is excellent from Ubergeek. 2 different forces keeping Voodoo boxed in. It looks like Ubergeek does have the gun, probably getting the T2 upgrade at this point. You see a very large, this is a whole bunch of missile launchers. They should be a little further to the front, actually attacking. They should be able to wipe out all this T2 PD very quickly. We do see 1 TMD. And we see that Voodoo actually has a whole bunch of T2 mass extractors. If we compare that to Ubergeek, he does have at least 2 or 3. So both players were investing into the economy. And now we see these T2 PD getting taken out. Voodoo also has the gun. Great way to knock down the shields is with the overcharge. 21 kills for Voodoo, 10 for Ubergeek. And Voodoo is losing units very quickly. And now we're seeing missiles flying. Doesn't look like they're really hitting targets. Some T2 PD from Ubergeek. This is kind of crazy. Voodoo was able to get Ubergeek to retreat when Ubergeek had more units. 44 kills for Voodoo. And now some units trying to sneak around for tag. Ubergeek unable to do so. And another squadron of bombers. These NGs would be great targets. See if some of those die. That was excellent. Would have been great to see those die as well. And there they go. So that was excellent piece of T1 bombing from Ubergeek. Now Voodoo trying to get some of these mass extractors, trying to get a little more mass. He just lost all of his building capacity. If we can see the building capacity for Tag Ubergeek, it's very good. He's got T2 factory with a bunch of NGs, and even more NGs on a T2 factory, T2 land factory. See a group of gunships. Looks like an NG is gonna look to see if it can capture some more mass extractors from Voodoo. Seeing T2 PD stealth field. This is always a good thing to do when you're doing a PD creep. And now gunships from Ubergeek going after power. So this is an excellent target. He already took out the build capacity. Now we see a T2 flak. That's an excellent weapon against gunships, and they retreat. But it did do quite a bit of damage. If we look at Voodoo now, he's actually alright. He just got his T2 power in time. So that attack was not very successful. See that NG from Ubergeek getting more of the mass extractors, and a single mongoose is going to take out a T1 mass extractor. This is a very unprotected T2 mass extractor right here from Voodoo. Ubergeek really wants to get the shield up. If he loses it, he almost had it. It would have been really helpful for him. Some excellent play from Voodoo. It's surprising he's still alive. It's been completely dominated by Ubergeek so far in terms of map control and in terms of just what his base looks like. And now we see T3 from Voodoo, and he's making T2 flak with it. If we're looking, and it looks like T3 air from Ubergeek, so different ideas from different players here. We are seeing the Percy, so this is a great weapon against an ACU as long as it doesn't get overcharged. See 46 kills, and actually now a T3 NG from Voodoo. We're gonna see this battle shift in Voodoo's way with this T3 PD, and it looks like Ubergeek has realized this and is just gonna retreat. So Voodoo fighting back. And now we are seeing some Strat bombers. Still a T2 ground factory. Some 2 T2 power. It'd be nice to see some TMD. Really, the cruise missiles not used in this game nearly as much as they should be. This shield should be on. Guess it wouldn't make too much difference. See Voodoo here shielding his T3 NG. Now here's a Strat bomber already with 1 kill, trying to break through a shield, taking a lot of damage from flak. Nice to see the Strat bomber just decimate all this mass. It's taking a lot of hits. It's a nice bombing run, nice bombing pattern. It's only got 1 left. It's about to get killed. So not a very effective Strat bomber. We see another come out. 3 T2 power generators from Ubergeek, and now he has his own Ravagers. Some raiding with the Percys from Voodoo, and now we're gonna see some raiding with Titans on the other side. And it looks like Voodoo is taking the map back. Look at the eco, he still has just T2 mass extractors. See a whole bunch of T2 mass extractors from Ubergeek as well. Compare the eco, we got plus 44 for Ubergeek and plus 43 for Voodoo, so very even. You might see a T3 PD standoff here. We only see mobile shields from Ubergeek at this point, as well as Voodoo, and these strat bombers should be a lot more effective. We see a T3 anti-air. That's basically a no-no if you want to go with strat bombers when you see one of those. So much for T3 air dominating 3599 games. Of course, we have to say this is a very small map. It's perfect placement of a T3 anti-air launcher directly in the middle of the map. Now we see this Titan with 10 kills. It's about to take does not finish killing a T2 mass extractor. That's kind of tragic. Now we see Ubergeek actually pushing back with some of these Ravagers. He's going to get some shields in the middle. Still a very tough fight, very even now. Looks like Ubergeek just let it slip away at some point. But he's still definitely in the game. Now we're seeing Titans coming in over the mountain. They're going to run into some T2. Actually doing quite a bit of damage. I'll finish off killing the T2 mass extractor. And Ubergeek taking back the mass extractors he just lost. Now these Titans did some damage and left. We finally see some air from Voodoo, some scouts. And Ubergeek is getting some Ravagers directly in the middle of the map. T3 power generator on theta, that's a very rare sight. We got some TMD in the way, I guess, but it would be a great thing to snipe. And now we're seeing T3 Arty, mobile Arty, actually from both players. So very similar thoughts at this point. Some nice raiding from Ubergeek. This is a very slow raid, of course. Maybe we can try to move a little further. Of course, this force probably could not take on Percy's. For the most part, T2. See the Titans coming in to defend. You see T3 Arty from Ubergeek, and only one, actually not two, from Voodoo, and Voodoo is making a lot of shields. He's going to have 3 T2 shields. Too many shields to have 3 Arty really cause too much damage. But now it looks like we see 4. And I guess if you keep spamming T3 Arty, but now it looks like it's T3 NG. And now we got some more Titans and Percy's coming around through the bottom. They're going to take on a lot of shields, and actually we see some Percy's under these shields as well, so it's going to be a lot of nice mass chunks for Ubergeek. He already has some NGs in the area. They're going to go get some. And Voodoo could probably get a little more shields here because it's a lot of Arty. That's another victory for Ubergeek. He can probably keep pushing. Definitely has a superior T3 ground force at this point. Now we see an ASF fight. It's very even, but it looks like Voodoo takes this one. Even more shields for Voodoo. Now he's going to have 5 shields. Looks like he's going T3 mass extractors and ASF. We don't see any T3 in it. It's T3 in the plans, a lot of T2 power for Ubergeek. He does not have any T3 mask extractors yet. These should be pushing forward, putting more pressure on Voodoo, and also maybe some rating on this side as well. He has total ground domination. Doesn't look like Voodoo is even making any ground. This is very much a stalemate. Really, Ubergeek does have some moves, but Voodoo is just upgrading his mask extractors to T3. He's very vulnerable right now. Probably just contradicted myself there, but that's alright. So if we compare the ecos, we got plus 115 for Ubergeek, plus 120 for Voodoo. Still very even. See, in terms of extraction, 14,000 for Ubergeek. Voodoo's got 9,000, so a little more for Ubergeek. Probably a lot because of these Percies that he's killed off. There's some more nice mass chunks. And now we're seeing a fatty. An experimental on theta. So Ubergeek's got to do something. One thing to note, this fatty is not under any shields, so a few strat bombers before it gets finished can actually kill this. And now it looks like Voodoo is switching to air and some T3 anti-air. It's not clear why this force should avoid the T3 PD and just go around. Two mask extractors completely unprotected. And now, yeah, Voodoo realizes that he has to build some shields, and he'll do so now. Finally, this T2 mask extractor is going to be taken out. It's a nice push from Ubergeek. If he can knock down those shields, this Artie that he has can do some damage. He's got his ACU moving in. He's got a shield on it, so now Voodoo's really got to run. See some T1 PD being built. It's a great push from Ubergeek. You got to overcharge that fatty. Nice. That was excellent. And now Voodoo was defeated. It was scary at the end there with that fat boy if that thing was finished. But Ubergeek really dominated most of the game. Very well played from both players.